I want to go through. I want to go through the drive chart, and we can pick out stuff that we want to talk about with each drive. But we've got a caller. This is a first-time caller to the show. It's false start on a mobile. Is that what it is, Dell? False start on a mobile.
What's up?
Yeah, what's going on,
What's
false
up, guys?
start? How you doing?
Hey, I was just going to head up to Minnesota and not call in the show, but Lance talked about over-unders earlier, and I don't know if you saw the over-under on Laramie Tunsil's false start was 1.5. So,
yeah,
I think it was fourth quarter. We're driving in, and I had to jump out of that referee's pocket and go and get that second false start.
I saw that.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, I saw that.
The look on his face when I fall in the field, it's surprise every time. But he knows I'm going to show up at least once a game, and this year it's been twice each week. And I just tell you what, it's disappointing to see that he can't hold his water. And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he is always so surprised. I am. As a guy who has now broken the record, I assume, for most false starts in a career, I don't know that to be a fact, but I assume it's a new record. It is truly staggering to watch every week pass and Laramie Tunsil with more and more false starts. You know what? I'm going to pull up my PFF Ultimate, and I'm going to just check out. Go ahead. We'll just keep doing the show right now as is, and I'm just going to pull up my NFL statistics for penalties and see where he currently lands. I got a funny feeling he's up there pretty good.
Well, it's what he do, okay? And do you think it's contagious? Because the first series, Kenyon Green had the false start right next to him.
Yeah.
Do you think it's contagious?
Well, I mean, maybe. I get that every once in a while you're going to get off to a quick start because you're worried, but he just literally guesses the cadence. I mean, because he doesn't want to get beat around the edge, and he's a really good pass protector. He's got good feet, good technique, all that stuff. He just takes off quick.
Yep.
This is unbelievable how often he does this.
Well, and maybe that's why he's a really good pass protector, because he gets the best start every time. And and listen, he ain't gonna be beat off the ball, that's for sure.
No.
And you know what? That isn't. How much does that have to do with being a good pass protector, right? If you're beat, if the guy's go around you already, he's halfway there to get the quarterback, and that ain't happening with Laramie Tunsil, because he is going to beat you to the punch every time.
Yeah, including with penalties.
With penalties.
Yeah.
With penalties. So the first series featured the Texans' first series of the game. It did feature a really nice run by Joe Mixon along outside.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon ran for 16 yards, which was the best run of the night for the Texans.
That's that little jet sweep. They ran him on. They put Nico Collins in the backfield. They ran Joe out wide, and then they ran him on a jet sweep, and he got a good block there at the bottom. I can't remember. It may have been. They like to bring in Hutchinson for stuff like that to help block. And yeah, he turned the corner. He slipped the tackle. It was a good run, and that was about it for him, though.
That was it. That was it all night for anybody. I mean, that was, Akers at the end, but then he fumbled, and you come sit down. You sit next to me, because we can't be having that in a game situation like that. Boy, what a blunder that was, that fumble. Holy crap. But, it got off to a really nice start. Then you had a false start in there. You had incomplete passes, and you go and you kick a field goal. Nice start. They kick a field goal in there. That was the DeAndre Carter series, where you thought, holy crap, this is going to be another Amari Cooper night. But it's going to be DeAndre Carter, because every pass is to him. And they come up with it, and then you get the sack. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. Boy, I felt bad. I felt bad for Caleb Williams. I just felt bad.
He really got just
got crushed. I mean, there's a headline in one of the stories today, what's wrong with Caleb Williams? I'll tell you what was wrong with Caleb Williams last night. The offensive line was wrong with Caleb Williams. Now, that interception by Lassiter, that was a bad throw.
Well,
right?
But first of all, because people are putting generational crap on him. It's like, give him time to breathe. He's played 2 games. People need to just slow down. My gosh, what's wrong with Caleb Williams? You're right. I mean, he's a rookie, and he's trying to learn to play on time. Everything was off schedule for him. I talked to a former NFL executive yesterday before. We were just talking about a bunch of stuff, and I talked about Caleb Williams, and he said He goes, it's hard when all you do is make plays off schedule. And he said it's really hard to learn to play on time in the NFL, especially if you're with a team that's not very good up front. Because we were talking about that matchup, and he said, I just don't know how long it's going to take Caleb Williams to learn to play. He said he may never learn to play on schedule. He may have to have things break down for him to be really good. The thing is, look how fast the Texans were. Like every time he did a great job of getting away from some of those would-be sacks, but the Texans were so fast and furious to the ball that it's not like Collinsworth made the comment last night, and I thought it was true. In the Pac-12, Caleb's the best athlete on the field. In the NFL, he's got a bunch of athletes running after him.
Yeah.
It's like so much faster.
Yeah, and I don't know who was the best athlete on the field when the Bears had the ball. Mm-hmm. It was probably Will Anderson or Daniil Hunter. That's the best athlete on the field right there when the Bears had the ball.
Yeah. By the way, how about the both your corners got interceptions yesterday? You had although receivers got behind them a couple times again, which it didn't hurt you because he couldn't complete a pass, but. Great interception. You go 50-50 against Derek Stingley, you're going to lose. And he lost. Sting with the interception down the sideline. And then another one, Caleb made a great play to get away from the sack, and then he threw the ball down the field, and Laster came up with a big interception. So, I mean, the Texans just brutalized Caleb Williams.
They brutalized.
And I do wonder if he's going to lose any confidence. I think he's going to be okay. But we'll see, man. The Bears better get their running game going because the Texans were what a much better job. 2-0 Henry. Why do I always screw his name up? 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 did a really much better job. Did a really nice job of flowing to the football and hitting everything.
Aziz was better too. Now
I thought Aziz was better too. He got downhill better this year.
Yeah. Aziz had himself a night. He was very active. He really was. He was all over the field. He did a nice job too. I tell you what, I can't wait for Christian Harris to come back though. I know,
me too.
And then so the second series, how about? I mean, this game, it could not have been uglier, and it could not have started any better. I mean, you got a field goal out of the Texans, you got a field goal out of the Bears. Then the next series, you got a chunk 18 yards to Nico Collins. You got 18 yards. Cade Stover. That was a really, really nice play.
Right.
You got 18 yards on Tank Dell. He goes around the end. By the way, Tank, you had gotten that before the season started. It looks like Tank is probably going to be that odd man out when you just don't have enough footballs for everybody.
Yeah.
It's Tank. The addition of Stephon Diggs has really cost Tank.
Man, what I heard was exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening.
Tank is just – well, I think the problem is because Diggs plays in the slot. I think if Tank were playing in the slot, it'd be different. But him playing outside, he's a small outside receiver, which isn't beneficial. Like, it's not pleasing to the eye to see a small target out there with distance. What you want to do is see those guys closer to you from the slot, running those little choice routes and – breaking guys off at the break point, getting wide open. I think the Texans in some ways are hurt by not having Tank. He dropped one that should have been an easy catch yesterday for him. He just kind of misjudged it. It's been a rough start for Tank, and it's funny. I hear people are asking, and I can tell they're not Texans fans. I'll go to their bio. It's clearly fantasy football related. They're like, what's going on with Tank Dell? Why isn't CJ looking at him? Well, number one, CJ is not going to just – I say CJ's not just going to look at one wide receiver. This is 3 consecutive games of over 100 yards dating back to last year for Nico Collins. Nico Collins is off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, and you know what? And the talk was before the season started, Nico's going to be the guy. Stephon Diggs is going to have to get – and after this game, Stephon Diggs might be going, and you know what? A little bit in the back of his mind, he's going, hey – how come I'm not getting more targets? Hey.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, I hope Stephon's not mad.
Only he limited. What he had 6. He had 3 catches last week. 6 targets last week.
Yeah.
He didn't have targets this week. It won't be long before that volcano erupts.
Guys,
they're
these
gonna have to figure
targets
that.
are low.
They're going to have to figure that one out.